What's up, shavers? Welcome to another video. So this is going to be how to clean up your shave gear after you're done using it, okay? So this is going to be for any type of gear that you use for shaving. Could be a cartridge razor, could be a double-edged razor, could be the leaf kind of style razor, shave brushes, shave bowls, and soaps, okay? So first thing, if you got your soap wet or anything like that, depending on the type of soap you're using, just let it air out for 24 hours, then you can put the cap back on afterward, just so no mold or anything gets in there, right? For your shave brush, you're going to rinse this out really well. I like to bowl lather, which I use a bowl like this. So I fill it full of water, I put this in here and I swish it around, and I'll do that 3 or 4 times, and I'll take the brush and I'll just fling it out in the sink or the tub. You can fling it out anywhere, but you're going to get water, right, everywhere. So fling it out. I do that a bunch of times, right? And then I'll take some kind of towel and get the extra water. I'll clean up the handle, shine it up a little bit, get any kind of soap scum off there. Shake it out a few more times. And then I'll sit it straight up like this. A lot of people have stands that you can sit straight up in like this. I had a friend point out something very interesting. Humidity dries up, so there's no reason you can't just sit your brush on your counter and let it dry out, as long as there's not a bunch of things crowding it around there. Now, for this instance, you could be a double-edged razor, it could be a cartridge razor like this. What you're gonna do is you're gonna blow it out real well. Obviously wash it out, right? Careful, don't cut yourself on the blade or anything like that. And if it has things in the back or the front, or if it's a double-edged razor like this, it's gonna have gaps, right? What you're gonna do is, this is what I like to do, is I blow it out really hard. Through the middle and then through the sides. Okay, I had already done this one, so there's not any water coming out of here, right? You're gonna have a little bit of soap scum residue that you can clean up later. Some people go as far as taking out the blade, putting it back in the package. After that, I go with the blade, not against it, on both sides. I'll do a little bit of a palm or arm stropping technique where I go against. I think this helps your blade last a little longer, cleans off a little bit of the soap scum. You can do about 10 times if you're going to do something like that, right? It's basically, honing the blade slightly. And you can see that it kind of works because you can see some soap scum that's been rubbed off on the top cap, right? And then I'll just store that off to the side. Now, you can also, if you're afraid about germs and stuff like that, take some rubbing alcohol and put it in something like a little cap, and swish it around in there. That'll also get rid of the water and will clean the razor. You can also just pour it on there, kind of thing. I don't necessarily do that. I might sometimes. If you have a shave where you cut yourself a bunch of times, you can do that. But you want your gear to be dry, basically, right? Getting rid of the water is going to get rid of any like fungal and bacterial properties. Because, you're shaving with a soap already, right? It's going to leave some soap scum and stuff like that. Which you can clean intermittently. I like to clean that about once a week. But as long as you dry everything out and take care of it, it's going to stop it from rusting. It's going to stop it from, building any gross bacteria and stuff like that. All right, so this is going to be a little bit more of an in-depth guide of how to clean your shave gear. I like to do this about once a week. What you're going to need for this is something like a toothbrush, some soap, doesn't matter what kind. Dawn dish soap works perfectly fine if that's what you got. And maybe some rubbing alcohol. Super easy. Your brushes, if you use a brush, they don't need to be cleaned that often. If you're cleaning them out really well and drying them out really well after you're done shaving, you can get away with a couple times a year using a cleaning type soap for that. You could use shampoo even, which is a different type of soap than a shave soap, right? It's more stripping, but you want to be careful depending on the brush and the type of material that's in it, okay? So after you're done with the shave, you're going to take your razor, make sure any kind of blade is out. This happens to be what we call a twisted turn or a butterfly style razor. Take out whatever blade is in there. You're going to wet it down in your sink. You're gonna wet your toothbrush down, and then on top of your toothbrush, you're just gonna put a little bit of soap. I put a little bit in here and some clear soap. You're just gonna scrub it. Now, preferably do this in the sink because it's gonna get a little messy. But there's gonna be some soap scum and residual grime that's on your razors. And it's not very hard to get off, especially if you do this about once a week. I mean, I know people who could get away with it, once a month. You might want to clean a little bit more often than that. It's not going to harm your razor by any means, but you cannot really do this with a cartridge razor, by the way. You could try. Usually these only last about a week anyway. But this goes for single edge razors and anything that is going to be a full metal razor like this. Go ahead and get in all the nooks and crannies. You may need to wash it off several times, and you may need to scrub this several times. An old toothbrush works, or if you want to go get a new toothbrush, what I would do, make sure you're getting in all the nooks and crannies, right? All the way down the handle and all the way inside as well. You can also get a bowl and let it soak in some hot soapy water if it's really grimy and dirty. And then once you're done scrubbing it, right, take whatever bowl, and you could take a little bit of rubbing alcohol. I like to use this 91% isopropyl alcohol. You're going to pour that in your bowl and just give it a little bit of a bath, right? Or you could just pour it straight over your razor. That's going to help get any of whatever nasties that could be left on it out. And once you're done with that, that alcohol is gonna, you don't need to wipe it off. That alcohol will just air dry and it forces out the water. And then I have a little storage rack down here and you just put in that. Super easy. Every now and then, if you feel like a brush is getting gunked down, there are specific cleaning soaps out there for it that you can get. You don't need to, I don't think. I've never really had a problem with that. Especially if you're using something like a synthetic brush like this. This cleans pretty easy. Other than that, if you have razors that you want to keep even cleaner than just leaving it in the razor, you could do a little bit of the same deal with the toothbrush and soap, or you could just take the blade out, pour some rubbing alcohol on it, let it air dry, and then put it back in the little wax sleeve that they normally come in. All right, I hope that helped out, and take care. See you in the next video.